At the zoo, that is our topic today. Um, there is a chat box. If any of you have any questions, if you could please put your questions into the chat box. We will go over those at the end of the class. Thank you very much. So, at the zoo, a day at the zoo. Hey, here's a sign for our zoo here in Cincinnati, Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Gardens. This is our beloved little Fiona, our hippo. She was born premature, and the zookeepers didn't think that would live. But this little girl proved them wrong. She lived. She's a big girl now, and she's still quite a hit at the zoo with the kids. And she even has a baby brother now. Very cute. So the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden is the sixth oldest zoo in the United States. It was founded in 1873 and officially opened in 1875. That's a long time. Today, we are going to talk about the English vocabulary at the zoo. Does your city have a zoo? I'm so glad that my city has a zoo, and it's a really good zoo too, in my opinion. So let's go on a trip to the zoo and see all of the vocabulary we need in English. Come along with me. So we arrive at the zoo. First thing that we need to do is we need to park our car. So there's a parking garage we could use, or there's a parking lot. Do you like to park in the parking lot garage, in a parking garage, or a parking lot? And why? I like to park in the parking lot because it's closer to the zoo entrance, and I always have lots of things to take because I have children, grandchildren, diaper bags, book packs, and we always pack a picnic lunch. And so we take all that into the zoo with us, and it's just much easier being able to park closer to the zoo entrance. Then, once we get in there, we have to stop at the little ticket booth, ticket window, and we have to buy our tickets. Now, our tickets can be for just that day, or we could buy a membership that's for good for a year. And with the membership, we can go into the zoo any day we want. And that's the best economically. Plus, there's so many things to do at the zoo. And especially in the winter, there's a holiday light display all around the zoo. And it's very, very beautiful. And this picture here is our entrance and exit that you're going to see when you're at the zoo. Let's look at some of these animals that we are going to be seeing while we walk around our zoo, shall we? First, we've got a camel. Camels are known um, for being able to walk days in a desert without any water because they've got this hump on their backs that actually carries water and distributes it to their bodies as needed. So they don't have to stop and get a drink of water because they've got it for a few days anyway. Then they just stop at a stream, river, or lake, and they fill back up and they can go a few more days. Isn't that amazing? So amazing. Then there's these little guys. They're chimpanzees. Now, at the Cincinnati Zoo, there's always been this one little chimpanzee. And every time I take my kids and grandkids to that display, they have fruit that the zookeeper has fed them. And This same little guy, because he has the same markings on his body, will pick up little orange rinds and he throws them at us. It doesn't matter how many other people are around before us or after us, he's always throwing them at us. I've come to believe it's because the way my kids and grandkids laugh at him and they pick them up and they toss them gently back at him. I think that's why he does it. I could be wrong. Then we have this beautiful lady. I don't know for sure if she's a lady, but she looks like a lady to me. She's a cougar, actually, and she just looks very majestic right here, like she's the queen. And we have our elephant, big, huge animal. And the babies are even born huge, in my opinion. And the poor mama has to stay pregnant for 2 years. Kudos to the mama elephant. Then we have our gorillas. I really like this display too. I just love watching the gorillas with their little children and their little babies and how they just love and nurture them, just like human beings. Then we have a hippo. I don't know that that's Fiona's mom or dad, but that's a pretty big hippo there, and it may not even be an adult. Then we have our kangaroos. One of my kids absolutely loves kangaroos because they hop, hop, hop. And that's what she loves to do. She loves to hop, hop, hop. Now, the kangaroo has a little pouch in the front, and that's where it keeps its baby. So the babies actually, even as a youngster, get to ride around with mom in the pouch. Pretty neat idea there. And then we have our little koala bear. He just looks so cute. Then the giraffe with extremely long necks, so long they can just eat the leaves out of the trees. And at the Cincinnati Zoo, they have a deck area that's off of the giraffe display, and you can actually go there and get food from the zookeeper, and you can feed the giraffes. The adults can actually come up and over the railing, and the little ones that are tall enough can stick their little heads in between the rails, and they'll eat the lettuce or whatever it is that you have to give them. And then we have our lion, the king of the jungle, right? I mean, the jungle, that's his, and he's going to protect his lionesses and their cubs. What is your favorite animal at the zoo? For me, I don't know that. I mean, I've told you I like the gorillas and the chimpanzees. I also love some of the aquatic creatures. Hmm. I don't know. I think I need to see some more animals to figure out which one's my favorite. What do you think? Alligator. That's not my favorite. I don't like alligators. And then we have crocodiles. And the way to tell the difference between this alligator and a crocodile is their snouts. If you look here, the snout of the alligator is more narrow, whereas the snout of the crocodile is wider. And that's how you can tell the difference when you run into one of these creatures. Although I hope I never run into one outside the zoo. Wouldn't like for that to happen. So these two I don't really care for. Then we have our antelope, and the expression on his face right here is like he's saying, "What you looking at?" And then we have our armadillo. She looks pretty cute. Then we have a bat. The black bear, again, is something I wouldn't want to run into out in the wild. We have our dolphins. I love watching the dolphins off the ocean. I just find it very relaxing. And we have our donkeys, a flamingo, and a fox. I know lots of people who don't really care for the wild fox is because Um, they're afraid that they will attack their pets. But I mean, I just think they're very beautiful creatures. So on this page, my three least favorite would be the alligator, the black bear, and the crocodile. And I would have to say my favorite's the dolphin, with the fox coming in second. When was the last time you visited the zoo? Gee, I last time I was at the zoo was last autumn or fall. I did not get to go this winter to the light show. It really upset me that I didn't make it. Here's some more animals we could see at the zoo. The grizzly bear, again, is another creature I don't want to run into on my everyday living experiences. And then we have our iguana and a jaguar. This jaguar too looks calm, looks like he's just chilling out there, you know. But he also, if you look in his eyes, it's like he could pounce any minute, right? So don't run into him outside the house. And then we have our jellyfish, part of the aquatic. And I love the aquatic area. I could sit there and watch the jellyfish, the starfish, and the seahorses and the octopus. I could just sit there and watch them for hours. They don't thrill my children so much, though, so I don't get to sit there for hours. But I just absolutely love the jellyfish. Of course, I don't want to step on one in the ocean because they can make you very sick, and they're very can make it. The sting is very painful. And then we have our octopus, a killer whale. Killer whale looks very majestic. Again, I don't want to find one in the ocean with me. And then we have the leopard. This leopard looks like he's about ready to come back and tear somebody's head off, maybe messing with his kids and his wife. Then we have our meerkat, a mountain lion. She looks like she's taking really good care of her kids and giving you a look like you better leave my children alone. And then we have the ostrich. The ostriches are really funny, especially when they have their heads down in the sand. So, are there any animals that you do not like to see? I do not like to go into the reptile house. I don't like lizards and snakes and crocodiles and all that kind of thing. I don't like them. My daughters, on the other hand, do like them. So in the past, I have had to go into the reptile house. Now that they're all older, I don't have to go into that reptile house anymore. And I don't plan on going into the reptile house anymore. Okay, what else do we have at the zoo? Oh, the beautiful seahorse. Again, that's in the aquatic area at the Cincinnati Zoo. And again, I could just sit there and watch them forever. The seals, oh my goodness, the seals are so funny, aren't they? Especially when they toss the balls back and forth, and they make their little noise and clap their little fins. They're so cute. A shark. Again, this is one I don't want to run into in the ocean. So don't really care for this aquatic creature. Skunk, while they're kind of cute, kind of look like a cat with a big fluffy tail. If they have not been deskunked and you upset that creature, you're going to have a very foul odor around you and on you until you can figure out how to get rid of that smell. So, again, that's really not a creature I want to run into and scare anyway, because I wouldn't want to smell like that. Oh, and then we have a snake. And of course, I've told you I don't like snakes. So we're just going to go right past that one. And then we have the starfish. I absolutely love the starfish. I've always loved the starfish. And I just find them, I don't know, just the shape of them. And then when you see them move at the beach, when you see them move, it's just, or at the zoo, it's really, really, I just find it fantastic that they can do that. And here's a tip. Did you know that all those little round suction hole things are actually like their lungs? That's how they breathe out of water. So if you pick up that starfish and you hold it on those little suction cup things to take a picture, you're actually suffocating them. And every time that's done to them, it causes permanent damage. So if you pick it up and hold it and damage five of those little holes and someone else does it, by the end of the day, that starfish could be dead because in actuality, we as humans killed it trying to get a photo opportunity with it as holding it. So if you find a live starfish, it's best just to leave it down there where it belongs and take its picture by itself. Or here's a tip. If you want to have a photo op with a starfish, you lay down there by the starfish instead of picking it up. What do you think about that? Okay, then we have our stingrays. Again, this has a very painful and poisonous, deadly bite or sting, whichever way, and can kill you. So if it's in the ocean, no thank you, stay away from me. But I have been to the aquarium area and they have taken out their stinger and I have actually petted one. Would I pet one out in the wild? No way. Would you? Okay, a swan. The beautiful swan, the ugly duckling, turns into a beautiful swan. She is quite beautiful. And we have our tiger. This one's on guard, is he not? He's looking for some prey, I think, some food for his family. And then we have our toucan, cute little long nose there. And do you like to go to the zoo? Yes, I do. I do like to go to the zoo. Why or why not? I like to go to the zoo because I find it educational as well as entertaining and a great activity to do with the family. More animals. Okay, we have a turkey. Um, they're not just for Thanksgiving dinner here in America. We have them at the zoo as well. So you can see them gobbling around on the grounds. We have turtles in the aquatic area. Um, these guys are kind of fascinating to watch and learn from. I've had kids that have had turtles as pets in the past. And then we have our walrus. He reminds me of me. I don't know why. The walrus just kind of laid back. I don't know. To me, the walrus is me. A weasel, very nosy weasel, I think. Look at that face. A wolf, again, a very majestic animal, in my opinion. We have a zebra. It's kind of a relative of the horse. It has stripes. Then we have our manatee. Again, this is a creature that lives in the ocean, in the water. And the cheetah. Cheetah is the fastest land animal. They can go up to speeds of 90 miles an hour. It's amazing. We have llamas. We actually have llamas living down the street from us here. A lady raises llamas. Very cute. And then the eagle, the majestic eagle, which is also the national bird of America. In the United States, it's illegal to cause harm to an eagle, to its eggs. You can go to jail. Let's see, what other zoo animals can you think of? There are just so many kinds, aren't there? Um, so many kinds because you have all the reptile animals. And then at the Cincinnati Zoo, they have an insect area. And then you have the wild cats like the cheetah, the panther, yeah, there's just so many, so many. What other activities may we find to do at the zoo? Zoos typically have an amusement park area with rides. Now, these aren't big, huge rides like you would find at an amusement park that's just an amusement park. They're smaller rides, like you can find a carousel that has uh, like this picture, plastic animals here that your child and you can sit on, and it just goes round and round. And there are other small rides like that. Or there's a petting zoo, and you can take your children to that area of the Cincinnati Zoo, and they will be able to pet rabbits, pet goats, sheep, maybe even little ponies if they have them. What else does the zoo have? Usually a train ride. Cincinnati Zoo has a train ride, which I love to get on. It just takes you around the zoo, and I especially like riding the train ride during the winter when they have the holiday light display. Restaurants, lots of restaurants. So if you're hungry, you can go inside and get something to eat, or you can get something to eat and sit outside in one of their many um, dining areas. You can also bring a picnic lunch and sit outside in one of their dining areas to eat that with your family. There's lots of little vendors and snack places that you can go get popcorn, um, peanuts, funnel cakes, Coca-Colas, things like that. Gift shops. There's a gift shop at the Cincinnati Zoo, and you can go in there and you can purchase stuffed animals, um, t-shirts, hats, keychains with various animals of the zoo on there. And then there's animal statues, like this picture down here. There's the gorilla holding her baby. So they have lots of statues. And so that gives you great photo opportunities with their different statues. And at the zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, they also have different funny things like this is just a turtle shell. And then you can place your body in that turtle shell and have someone take your picture. And it's as if you are the turtle. So, discussion questions. How many times have you gone to the zoo? I can't give you a number due to the fact that I have lived here in Cincinnati my entire life. I have been to the zoo several times. So I can't actually give you a number. Can you give me a number of times that you have been to the zoo? How many different zoos have you visited? I have been to three. My favorite is Cincinnati Zoo. What about you? Where have you visited and what do you think about that zoo? What is something that you like about the zoo? I like the aquatic water area with the jellyfish and the starfish and the seahorses, octopuses, those kinds of things. What is something that you don't like about the zoo? I bet you can all write this in the chat box. You already know my answer. What don't I like about the zoo? The reptile house. No, thank you. When will you go to the zoo again? I hope to go to the zoo again in the spring when the zoo babies come out. And that's just what it sounds like. Our adult zoo animals have babies in the spring, and me and my family like to go and see all the baby animals. Which zoo is your favorite zoo? The Cincinnati Zoo. Why is it my favorite? Or why is it your favorite? Put that in the chat box. Let me know. My favorite Cincinnati Zoo, one reason because it's so close to me. The second reason is because I just enjoy the way they have set up the animal displays and how you can get as close as possible without the fear of being injured to a wild animal as you can get. This little guy down here in the corner is an orangutan. He's another member of the ape family, and he just likes to swing back and forth on his vines all day long. Just very peaceful. They scream at you, though, at the Cincinnati Zoo. The orangutan uh, apes will scream. I cannot make the sound they make, but they're pretty known for yelling, especially at me and my family. Maybe it's just my family that caused the ape family to uh, be rude. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. Well, I want to thank you all for taking this trip to the zoo with me today. I enjoyed it, and I hope that you did as well. I thank you for attending this live class. I look forward to working with you in the next Everyday Situation live class. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.